Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be. This week has been a very interesting one in the Buchanan household. So I just have a quick story I want to share with you that will hopefully encourage you that God does work through the ordinary and sometimes the frustrating or annoying situations in our lives. So on Saturday, our family decided that we were going to go to a drive-in movie theater. I used to do that all the time when I was a kid, and Stefan did too. So we thought, wow, this would be really fun. And so we got there early, and part of the reason that we got there early was, of course, we could get a good spot. But then secondly, because in the advertisement, they said that there were going to be food trucks there. And we are huge food truck people. We just think they're fantastic. And so we parked our vehicle, got out, started walking around to the different trucks and tents and things that were there. And there was only one truck that was really offering something other than snacks to eat. So we decided to go ahead and eat there, and it was pretty good, by the way. But when we were done eating, Stefan was still hungry, and our son said he was a teensy bit hungry. So we decided to go and walk around and explore the area just to see what kinds of things were there. And we ended up going to a gas station, and catty corner from the gas station was a fast food restaurant. So, we walked to the end of that block just to see if there was anything else in that particular area. And then Stefan asked her son, are you still hungry? Do you still need to eat? And our son said, no, I'm fine. So we went into the gas station just to get some snacks and some water, things like that, because it was cheaper to get that at the gas station than it was at any of the food trucks. And as we're standing in there, our son says, you know what, I'm still really hungry and I want to go to that restaurant. And Stefan and I were so frustrated because we had just asked him and he had just said no. And now all of a sudden he says that yes, he is hungry. So Stefan dealt with that situation, and basically, we did get a couple of things from the gas station, but we decided to go to this fast food restaurant, and so we went in, we ordered our food, and sat down, and I think we were the only customers in the restaurant at that time. We sat way in the back, and a man walked into the store. Walked up to the register and just started sharing his story. And as soon as I heard this man's voice, I knew that we had to do something, just anything to help him. So I looked at Stefan and I said, "Can we buy this man a sandwich? Can we do something for him?" And Stefan was feeling a tugging into his heart too that we should do something. And that doesn't happen, all the time with us, but this particular time it did. And so I said, well, I need to go talk to him. And so Stefan handed me $7 and he said, here's what we have, go talk to him. So I walked up to him and I put my hand on his shoulder and I said, sir, would you please give me the honor of buying you a sandwich or something? And and he said, well, they've already got a sandwich for me. And I said, well, is there anyone else who's with you that needs to eat? And he said, well, yeah, I've got 4 friends, and started sharing a little bit about them. And so I looked at the cashier and I said, I've got $7. Is there anything that we can get 4 of so that way this gentleman's friends can eat too? And so they were trying to figure out things on their end, and I'm talking with this man and listening to his story, and really sensing that that God has been chasing after him for a long time, and that time is short for him. And so so he's talking, and then they ended up getting 4 burgers. So he got to eat his sandwich. And then in addition to that $7 was the perfect amount to get 4 smaller sandwiches for his friends. And so when the food was coming out, I just looked at him and I said, I wish that there was more that I could do to help. And he said, well, what can you do? And I said, oh, not much. I can talk, I can write, and I can pray. And he said, really? You can pray? And I said, yes. He said, well, why don't you pray for me? And so I did, right there in the restaurant. I prayed for him. I prayed for his friends. And then after I was finished praying that prayer, super short, then he said, I also have leukemia, and I haven't been given long to live. And so I offered to pray for him again, and I prayed for him, and I just prayed, Lord, I know you've been pursuing him, and whatever it is that he needs to do, or needs to be, or just needs to surrender, whatever that is, just help him to do that, and heal his leukemia. And he was almost in tears, and I am just so grateful, for the common, ordinary things. I'm thankful that our son frustrated us at the gas station. I'm thankful that this gentleman walked in. I'm thankful that the people who are working at the restaurant, when I was praying for this man, they actually stopped what they were doing. And I believe some of them were praying too. I don't know what people's religious backgrounds are, but it was just so neat to see that God works through the ordinary. It doesn't have to be anything spectacular. It doesn't have to be anything showy. Just being real, normal people going about life, and then watching God do his thing as we go along. So I want to encourage you this week. If you feel prompted to do something, obviously use common sense, but in the midst of using common sense, if God's asking you to do something to encourage or to be a blessing to somebody else, why not take the risk and do it and just see what God does? Because God works through the ordinary. Have a great week, and I'll see you next week.